Hello. Welcome everybody. Let's. Hi, Jan. Welcome to the
Hi,
UX.
Tushar.
How are you?
Very good. Very, very happy and excited to be here with you and everyone.
Sure. People will join slowly. But we are committed on the time, so we'll start today at 7 o'clock. Yeah. So thanks for participation and.
आवाज का नाही तिकडे ना
1 minute. Please mute. Yeah. Thank you. So UXtalk is we started last year, and today we are in season 2, and we try to cover a lot of topics related to design and UX. And so far we have very excited speakers so far. And now in season 2, today we have a Garin. He is the country head for Ecole. And he is a very much experienced person in a design itself. I think he started career as a designing. He worked in a video as a in media industry, and I think now he is a country head. He stays in Mumbai, but right now he's in Paris, right?
Yeah, it's correct.
So
it's
before
exactly
we start,
3:30 here.
yeah. So before we start our today's topic, just give me 2 minutes to introduce UXtalk is all about. So UXtalk is basically we started as an activity for spreading UX knowledge and so this is my another activity. So I'm a CEO and a founder for UX Expert. Is India's one of the top leading. I will say last 3 years we are listed as a top 10 companies in India. I also started training activities as a UXUI training lab. So we do UX research, lot of things, and I always try to work in a UX field. Last 20 years I'm doing this, and I'm happy that we started this platform where the speaker comes and they contribute to the design community. So it is like a giving back to the design community, and I hope we will add more seasons in this. I will just make small announcement here that in UXtalk, in soon we are launching one service. This is that is again for everybody. Everyone can contribute in this thing. So this service is a UX articles. This is for if you are writing skills, you want to express your use cases or whatever you want to use as a design in a some way. So you can use this platform, publish your articles. It is totally, and we have almost now more than 50,000 audience for UXtalk itself globally. So that platform is available for you, which you can use. So I'm hoping you can contribute in a article section. So coming back to today's topic, so we have very interesting topic because the last few topics we are talking about core design. Lot of stuff we have already covered, but no, there are a lot of people are now asking some basic questions, and whether there's a difference between UX and UI, how to start career. Many times I'm in an architect, why should I go to the UX? So a lot of confusion is there, and I think the Ian is a perfect person to answer these questions, and he is heading and being there, I saw his infrastructure and everything. I think many design schools are there, but I think Ecole have come up with a very interesting infrastructure, and I think we spent a few hours there. So it was really great. I thought the Yan is the correct person to answer this query. So today we are talking about how to make career as a UX UI. So just start. We can start with yeah. You can tell us about little bit about your journey. What is your path so far, and how you become this country head for this great institute.
All right. Thanks, Tushar, for the introduction. Again, hi everyone. Very happy to be with you. My journey, I'll try to make it short because it's a bit long and maybe boring. So basically, I was born in France. You can hear my accent. By the way, if it's not very clear and you want me to slow down a bit, please don't hesitate. I won't feel offended at all. So born in France, I studied in France. I've studied musicology, which has nothing to do with UI UX actually. Then I started working as a sound engineer for the television, again in France, starting making documentaries. And I learned how to edit movies and how to make 3D animation there. That's how I started to work. Because I was making documentary, I started to travel a lot, really a lot. I traveled maybe in like 50 countries. But the moment I put a foot in India, I got completely fascinated and I fell in love with the country. And I told myself, this is where I want to live. Later on, I met my wife in Paris, who is Indian, and we got married, and instantly I went to Mumbai to settle there. This is how I came to India. In India, I wanted to make documentaries, but the scene is very different here compared to France. So it was not so easy. I decided to do the other thing I knew how to make. It was 3D animation and motion graphics. While doing that, I've been approached by a French institute, Ecole intuit.lab, who wanted someone to teach 3D and motion design. So I was very, it was the first education experience for me. I never taught what I knew so far, but I say, yeah, let's do this. It sounds very interesting. I found Ecole intuit.lab very, very professional, you know, very structured and committed. It was not at all a money-making institute. They really had a passion for design and a passion for conveying design to students. I really, really love that. So I took my role with a great passion and seriousness. And very quickly, they asked me to take the operation of the school because we have campuses also in France, and they wanted someone French to do the liaison between Mumbai and France. So this is how I started managing the operation. And slowly I took more and more responsibilities till today, where I'm the head countries, because we have the country head, sorry, I'm talking in French. The country head, we have a campus in Calcutta also, and the director of the school. So this is how I came here.
Great, great. I think, yes. So there is a lot of inspirational story you have, being from sound artist, from television to now you are in this field. Okay, so my first question is very simple here. Okay, when you say about UI UX, you know, what kind of what you observe basically in Indian students or Indian aspiring designers, and globally also, where is the confusion exactly, and how you will solve this, how you answer basically?
This is a great question, actually. UI UX is confusion not only in India, all over the world. And it's confusion for students, but also for professionals. You see job offers, they completely mix up both of them. They call UX what should be UI and vice versa. And sometimes they want a web designer, but they call that also UI UX designer. You know, it's completely, there's confusion everywhere because UI UX is a bit trendy in a way, because it's everywhere. I guess that's why. So they say, okay, we'll hire a UI UX, but that's not necessarily exactly what they mean. For me, just to make it simple for people who don't know what is UI and UX, I would say imagine that you are making tea. In one hand, you want to make good tea and you want your guest to enjoy your tea. Okay, so for that you will find the best recipe. You will have a nice, maybe a sofa where they can sit, and the temperature will be good. That will be the UX. Everything has to feel good. But now to make that properly, you need the environment to be beautiful. You need the tea. You know, if the tea look gray, for example, or not the right color, it will have an impact on experience. You want the mug to be pleasant to see, etc., etc. All of that is the UI, and the combination of the UI and the UX will make your experience perfect while you are drinking your tea. So that's how I will differentiate it. Uh, Technically, I would say that the UX designer, basically, they start with the information architecture. It's a big word, but you all went on a site like Amazon.in, for example. Amazon.in sells literally thousands of products. Okay, and when you go there, generally it takes you max 5 seconds to find your product. Why? Because the information architecture is fantastic on this website. It's everything, it's at its place, and you can find it very, very easily. I'm sure in the opposite, I won't name any website, but it happened to you that you spend half an hour looking for something that you would think would take just a few seconds, and after half an hour, you still cannot find it. And just by chance, randomly at the end, oh, it was hidden there. When that happens, that means the information architecture is very, very bad, very poor. UX designer, they also do a sitemaps, the kind of, again, displaying the things properly and having a kind of natural sequence. Once you are done with something, it's easy to go to the next step. The user flow, it's the same thing. They also do what we call the wireframe. Before building complex and time resourceful assets, you start doing it very simply. You know, it's called wireframe because it's only simple lines. Whether it's a website or an app, you start a bit like an architect will do the first line of a house, for example, where you don't need to see the bricks or the color of the paint. And then it goes till the prototyping. Prototyping is something much more advanced, where the people will be able to test a bit how your product works. And you can say immediately, oh, be careful. We cannot find that button, for example, to register on your website. So you have to change a bit your prototype. Okay, again, before building the final product, because building a product, a digital product, takes time and money. So you want to avoid that. While the UI designer, they will also work on the wireframe, but generally more like the hi-fi wireframes. So there are more detailed objects that they will trace on their wireframe. They will obviously work on the UI design. So UI design, typically, you want a button to click. What color is this button? What is the shape of the button, etc. So all of that is really a UI design. Creating the icons, all the images, because the UX designer, he will just put a box with a cross and say there is a nice image here, but that's all. While the UI designer will have to find a real image. Oh, I want, I don't know, maybe a cricketer or batting the ball at that, whatever, and find the right image for that. And they will also write what we call the style guides, because generally the UI designer, based on the size of the company, won't design the full set of icons, etc. But he or she will write the guidelines. Oh, all the buttons should be, for example, with a rounded corner, semi-transparent, etc. Then when the graphic designer need to make the 100 pages of the website, they will all design the button accordingly with the right colors, etc. So that's for me, I hope I was not too long, but that's really how I see the difference between UI designer and UX designer.
Right. I think definitely you are explained correctly the roles of UX and UI. So the second question automatically comes, many times I also get same question from a lot of professionals. When people are trying to switch between their existing career, and that time their question is like, oh, I'm from a sales background. So should I take UX as a career? Or I'm a programmer. Okay, I'm doing say for last 1 year, or I done engineering in a mechanical, or I done engineering, or maybe I don't know, I'm not sure about whether, because I'm not a design student. Okay,
Right.
in that case, how you answer these questions, how, or what are the background will make any difference in making a UX career?
Yeah. Uh, my first answer is yes, you can do it. That's the that's the good news. Everybody can become a UX designer. You don't need to be a very fine. You make okay. Sorry. If you make a button, let's say to validate your a question. Typically, you type your name and you want to validate it, right? If you make this button red because you don't have a great sense of color, people will think or might think that you want to cancel your name and you don't want to validate, right? So
Right.
it's better to have it green, for example. So this is what I say by being a bit artistic oriented. It's to understand the psychology that is behind whatever you see, the colors, the shape, etc. Understand how they work. That's quite important. The second skill is a kind of engineer skill in a way. Not in a sense that building bridges and or machines, but in the sense of understanding a problem and finding a solution that does not exist. Creatively, it's even better. So whatever you have to do, what to do so people will understand and will have a good experience with your product. And you have to do a lot of this. If you're not experienced in this domain, for you it's natural, as soon as it works on a website or on an app, you don't realize that there is a huge work behind that people who made it easy for you. Okay,
Right.
it's only when it's not working fine that you say, oh, they did a bad job. But if it goes very smoothly, that means they spent even more time on it and they did a fantastic job. That's, I can tell you that. Another important skill is to have a good sense of sociology. You don't make an app for yourself. I'm telling you that. If you have a passion for anything, you will never make an app for yourself. Generally, you are asked to make an app for another audience and maybe a big audience. So you will have to study these people and you have to understand these people. Maybe you are 20 years old, but you need to make an app for elder people, for 70, 80 years old, or whatever it is. And they don't think like you. They don't have the same technology education than you have. So you have to rethink everything. And that's really not easy. Okay? This is what we call empathy. That means the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes. And the last important skill, I would say, is to have a good sense of business. A bit for the same reason. It's not all to make a fantastic app. If your app doesn't have an audience, or if your app is not feasible, okay, technically not feasible maybe, or financially not feasible, then your app has no future at all. Okay, and all the time that you will have spent building it, all the money invested will just go to waste. So now to answer your question, Tushar, wherever you are coming from, I'm sure you have some of these skills that I just announced here, but you will have maybe to develop the rest. And the rest is technically understanding how things go together, acquiring few extra skills, understanding, for example, as I said, what is a wireframe, what is a prototype, how to make a research, okay? All these things I just told you about, but there are techniques to make them more proficient and more efficient, and getting better results. So that, yes, you will have to learn. So depending where you are in your career, if you are at the beginning, I would say the best is to join a full program, maybe an undergraduate. We give at Ecole, and I'll give you more information about that. But if you're already properly experienced, maybe let's say you are a classic graphic designer, you can easily find some online classes, for example, where they'll teach you only digital. You can also specialize in one particular aspect of UX. You can become a UX researcher only. So that means you will do only a research.
3 questions. Just 1 minute. I will connect from. Sorry. Yeah. So my next question is coupled with 2-3 sub questions here. So maybe that will have the audience more clarity about today's topic. Now, my simple broadline question is, what are the future opportunities for making UX a career? But in that, you can just touch upon two more points. It is first is, I think what today we are facing is pandemic situations. Because of COVID and what is happening towards in future, how the people are looking at the UX experts or UI experts after this post-pandemic situation. And thirdly, you can add one few points here, how we are shaping towards the technology wise we are moving, because we are moving towards artificial intelligence, machine learning, or virtual reality. In that, regarding these two aspects, what is your take on where we are going in future? What is the UX career is opportunity wise, and what the new people who are taking this career, so there will be a lot of opportunities are definitely there. I think you can put some light on that, so that will be great.
Right, I'll give my opinion at least, and I'll try to reply to these 3 questions, and just interrupt me if I go in another direction, if I diverge. Yeah. First, the future of UI UX, I would say, and particularly in India, it's super bright. Why? Because there is a huge shortage of UI UX designer in India. And I know that because I have companies calling me 3-4 times a week, and I'm not exaggerating, ask me, please send us students in UI UX, we need them. And we started, we are just starting a UI UX program now, but it's been years just because we have digital in our graphic design program that these companies ask me to send them students. They don't find anyone to do the job. Not only in Mumbai, in Bangalore, in Delhi too, for example. So for this reason, definitely very bright future for anyone going for UI UX. About the pandemic, it has been a big revelation for many people. It showed us what is possible to do and what is not remotely and digitally. The limitation was, for example, you all know that spending 8 hours in a meeting is almost impossible online, except if you are a superhuman, but it's super tiring to be online all day long. So this old dream that we have, we'll do everything online, all the meeting and everything, it's difficult. But because of the digital tools that are now on the market and that have been developed, many workarounds to have meetings, for example. I'm thinking about collaborative tool, and physically, it used to be very difficult. I just use a tool like Miro, for example. Miro is a simple whiteboard with post-it, and you can have 100 people writing post-it, putting them on the board, and I'll talk a bit about it. It's a bit broader than UI UX, but artificial intelligence for me was in a corner of my mind to design this program. Why? Because I realize I'm in the industry for a long time now. It's more and more simple to use technical tools that it used to be maybe 20 years ago. I'll give you a simple example. Photoshop, you all know Photoshop, and I'm sure you tried it. Nowadays, you open Photoshop, take your mouse, and you can, in 5 minutes, do something. In my time, Photoshop, it was not like that at all. You had to buy a big book, you know, start reading, just to install it, to launch it, and see what tool you can use, how to open your photo. It used to take a long time. Nowadays, Photoshop, you all try the filling an area, you know, automatically, for example, it's just one click, okay? Because there is artificial intelligence behind, and it's more and more like that. So when we designed our program, we kept that in mind and saying we are not going to focus on which button to press to do something. You know, all the technicality, that is, you don't even need to go to school for that. You just open your program, maybe watch a YouTube video, 5 minutes, and that's all you need, you know, to really do what is necessary to use the software. I always say, you know, if you read Harry Potter, for example, do you really care which software she used to write the book, or if it was on the typewriter? No, this is not what makes the book great, right? It's not the software. It's exactly the same for a great app or great website. Nothing to do with the software. Yeah, there are some software that are more practical than other. Maybe Figma nowadays is used a lot. 3 years ago it was Sketch, etc. There are trends like that, but this is not what makes a great app. What makes a great app is what you have in your head. I was talking about how to create a problem creatively. This is what will make a fantastic app. If you think about Uber, for example, Uber, it's not the software that makes Uber that is so genius, you know. It's the guy who had the idea, say, oh, there are many people on the road, you know, who can become cab driver. They already have the car. We just need to connect them with the user. That's all. That idea was a genius, you know. Obviously, just one idea. It's a combination of many ideas. They must have worked in team for months to have the perfect product at the end. But this is what makes a great app, not the software. So, Tushar, I hope I replied to your question about this new technology coming. A, it's a great help. B, they are going to do most of the thing that we could learn, the technical thing that we could learn right now.
Right. Thanks. I think you explained everything here, and I hope participants definitely see the lot of opportunities we are coming up today. No, I think let's come to the end because we have time limit also. So
Sure.
before we close, we take a couple of questions. You know, what activities now you are currently doing, and you know how, what is your the institute they are planning to things. So you
Right.
can give some light on that so that things will
I
be
have
more. Maybe your what are the programs? Maybe those you can share those things, and that will be.
sounds good. So, Tushar, if you don't mind, I have a very quick presentation. I swear it's very quick, so don't be scared. I'll share my screen on Keynote. Yeah. Okay. And we don't need this video. Okay. So Ecole Intuit.Lab, it's an international school headquartered in France. We have 2 campuses in France, 2 in India, and 1 in Brazil right now. And we offer these 4 programs. So we are very famous for visual communication, which is basically graphic design, to make it simple. Game art and game design in partnership with Ubisoft. So the gamers here will know Ubisoft. We offer fine arts in Calcutta, and we have digital product design that we are talking about right now. We design all our program in 4 years that way, with a common foundation year, because whatever you learn in design, as I said, you need to have your sense of design in place, whatever it is. A good sense of shapes, color, composition, basic of sketching. You know, when you make a diagram, it's good when you can quickly express any idea that you want to do. Then we have the second year, which is the kind of timeless and universal principle of digital product. So introduction to web design, digital layout, etc. Year 3, this is a professional training. So really the technique that you are going to use in professional agencies. And the last year, we call it the kettle. Our students create a startup and they launch a digital product on the market under the supervision of an incubator, and they show their product to investors. So the goal is really to make it exactly the same as it would be in the real world. Okay. During this program, there are 2 internships compulsory at the end of the second year and end of the third year. Why? It's because there are things that we know we cannot teach in school. As simple as that. There are things that you can only experience when you work in an agency or in a studio. What is digital product? I told you about already, but here you have example. For example, I was talking about wireframing and prototyping. This is what this person is doing right now. You know, this what she's drawing takes maybe 30 seconds. Yeah.
Yes. Your slide is stuck, or you're showing some different slide.
Sorry for that. I think it's a bug with Keynote because of the yeah. Can you see it now? You see someone drawing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So yeah, this person, you see what she's making takes 30 seconds. If you want to make that directly digitally, it will take you 1 hour. So that's why when you want to create many ideas, you do it on paper. That way you can immediately discuss with the rest of the team. Okay, I imagine these 3 panels here, blah, blah, blah. What do you think? Oh no, maybe the blue one is not necessary. If you do that digitally, it will take 1 day, you know? But on the paper, it's very quick. Again, from paper, then you have the UI designer who will make it perfect digitally. So this is an example here. Again, more UI and an example about an app about planets. You see here how the sense of aesthetics is also important. You know, it's not only how helpful is the product. Nowadays, a product has to be attractive because there is so much competition. If your product is not also beautiful, it will be ignored. More example of what here, this is typically a prototype in action. So you make pages that way, and you can jump from one screen to another. So this is prototyping. Here again, testing or post-it. If you go for this career, buy a lot of post-its. UX and UI designer use a lot of post-it because it's easy to simulate an action on your prototype. You know, you make a button with click here, and when you want to change it, you just toss it and paste a new one and change the name. more examples. So here you see about research. Again, many post-its. Post-its, they are easy to swap, to move, etc. And again, typical wireframe. So I was telling you an image is typically a box with a cross. That's the case here. And this is a kind of final presentation that you can give to the buyer, for example. Also, I didn't say anything about programming for a digital product designer. Coding is good to know because you can do prototype easily that way, and it's also good to understand what is possible or not. So when you will have a real coder or developer doing your job, you can help her and you can understand what they are doing and prepare the work for them. So in the training, there is a bit of coding also. All right, so that's it for the presentation. I told you it was short and I didn't lie on that.
So definitely, I think you are also contributing a lot of in now. So I know in designing itself is already established now. UX is something definitely. So I just see any audience. If you have any question, please you can ask. Uh, otherwise, I have also a few questions, so I will continue
Yeah,
with my.
with a great pleasure.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, just put in a chat. So if you have any doubts regarding how to make UX career and what are the opportunities or something, please use Zoom chat for a question. So okay, meanwhile we are coming with questions.
Yeah.
Maybe okay, I have one more question for you. Okay, okay. So definitely you answered a lot of things earlier. What are the make? So key question is sometimes as you now in one of the slide you were showing about coding. Yes, the coding has to be there. So, but many times, we face this issue when the technical team and design team, there are a lot of conflicts going on between, because obviously developer mindset is different. And many times I have also seen developers also, they have a little bit of hesitation to go to the in a design field. So if someone who has already a technical knowledge, who has maybe done computer as a subject while their education or something, so for them, what is your advice? So UX is will be an additional career, or it is just they are using their technical knowledge and doing much more better output?
Yeah. If they learn coding, for example, I would say it will be a great asset for them. Exactly like someone who is very good at drawing, for example, it's not necessary, but it's a fantastic asset. Someone who learn psychology, same thing. If you learn that, it won't do everything, but it will be a good asset. It's the same for coding. While as I just showed, when you develop a prototype, for example, uh, doing a bit of coding for that will definitely help you a lot to make your prototype close to the final product. Okay, there are people who cannot code at all, who are UX designer. They use post-it and they ask, okay, you click here and they remove the post-it, and they show another screen or whatever on paper. This is really the basis of prototype, but you can do that also. When you know how to program, it's very easy to take a software like Figma, make your interface, your multiple page, and program the interaction that will be possible, not only to jump from one page to another, but for example, if you type your age, you can have a different, I don't know, color background. I'm just throwing things randomly, but why not? If it is what you want, you can do that because you know how to code, and it's become very, very easy. So you can go much further. So in that way, it's a great asset to code.
Great. I think it is about time also. So I think just thanks for everybody for participation, and also thanks, yeah,
My
for
pleasure.
giving very,
I
very
quickly, if you don't mind, I'll share a link for the digital product design that we have to offer. If you are interested,
yeah, sure,
you
sure.
can give it a look. And I'll write my email address. Don't hesitate to ask your question. If I can help, I'll be very happy. And I swear that if I can't, I will find someone who can and help you.
Sure. Uh, Also, we are recording this, and we are recording this. I will post after some time this video converse, so people will go through again and again for this. Okay. I think you have. Thanks for your time. I think what you have shared is very useful. Whoever wants to make UX as a career, I think a lot of doubts are here clear, and hopefully in future. We will do more activity with maybe once you back in Mumbai, and we will think Ecole Institute also they will bring a lot of new programs for the audience, maybe for professionals and thing, because there is huge opportunity as there, and UX is a field where we can do a lot of things together, and hope for our best. Hope this pandemic situation very soon we will all are recover from this. And
Right.
thanks once again for your time and thanks participants also. I will share this all, even the links and what Jan shared on LinkedIn, so that you can go through this, and whoever no, they afterwards also they will go through this video conversation, so they will get know about how to make UX career, who can make UX career. And hope in future some other we will come up with another topic for on to discuss or something. Okay, thanks
My
everybody.
pleasure.
Keep safe and take care everybody. And hope so. Our next UX talk, hopefully, I am personally giving this UX talk, and topic is all about behavioral and decision making. So this is a user psychology topic we have. So hopefully stay tuned for more topics, and hope this platform will give a lot of information and knowledge and make you more curious about design field itself, and maybe that triggers you more learning. And I'm 100% sure Yan and his team is also taking efforts on this part, and hopefully we will collaborate somewhere and we can do a lot of things together. Yeah. Thanks everybody once again. Take care. And soon we will meet for our next UX talk. Thanks, Yan, once again for a great time we have. And
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Tushar.
thanks. Bye.
Bye.